Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be reviewing the positions in my Roth IRA account as of the 15th of September 2023. I will show you how covered calls are helping the returns in my account, and hopefully in the process you will learn some tips and tricks that you can use in your own investing. So in my Roth IRA account, I am working on this beat SPY strategy. Essentially, I have 100 shares of SPY and I'm reinvesting any dividends. And I want to see if by selling covered SPY calls, if I can generate additional income. So I started a strategy at the end of January, and my goal was to generate extra 6 to 10% in 11 months. It was going pretty good. I think a maximum I was about 3% extra from the covered calls. And then things didn't go that well. So at this point, I'm a little bit over 2.5% of additional income, which is still pretty good. It's it's more than the dividend, which is about 0.75%, I think, right now from the beginning of the year. Any extra cash that I generate from the covered calls, I am putting into high dividend stocks, Starwood and Rhythm. It's not really relevant to the campaign. I just don't want to have just cash lying around. And, the dividends are definitely higher than the interest I could get from just keeping the cash. These are all the trades so far. So as you can see, on the 31st, I started with 100 shares of SPY and I sold one covered call. And SPY was trading at that time around 404. And from that first covered call here, the credit column, I essentially got little over $300 credit. And then the call expired and I sold another covered call expiring 1 month later and I got another $300 credit and so on and so on. I also got some dividend. I think that was on the previous page. Yes, right here. I just got a little bit, of a 1/3 of a share. And here on the 15th of June, I actually was assigned the shares, so I bought them back right away. But I'll talk about the details of that a little later. And finally, the last call or the last trade that I made, uh, it was about 2 months ago, where I sold to open the SPY call that was expiring on the 1st of September. And at that time, actually, it was pretty hard to sell. I had to buy back the previous call for $9. That was quite a bit, and I had to sell the new one for a little over. I still got a few extra dollars credit, which is good. So far, the credit that I got from selling the covered calls was about $1,200. And here's SPY up till the 1st of September. So remember on the 13th of July, I rolled the call from 440 to 449 and extended the expiration by, I think, 7 weeks till the 1st of September. And I got a very small credit from that. So on the 31st of July, I got a small dividend. And on the 1st of September, that was Friday 2 weeks ago, I was really afraid that SPY would just continue marching higher, but thankfully it came, which would be good for SPY or for my account as far as SPY shares goes, but it would be bad for my covered calls, right? So thankfully SPY came down and now a little bit up, and now it's trading around 450, which is actually almost perfect. I would prefer if it's below 449. That's the strike price of our stock option or the call option. But it's slightly above, but only very slightly, so that's still good. So let me talk a little bit about the dividend now. So as you know, on the 15th of June, my 100 shares of SPY were called away. And so I was left with only the dividend that I got a couple of months before that. So in order to continue comparing, the returns in my account with just having 100 shares of SPY, I bought the 100 shares back right the next day. Unfortunately, 6/16 was the ex-dividend date, which means that whoever held the shares on the 15th got the dividend, but whoever held the shares on the 16th didn't get anything, right? And since I sold my shares, so the shares were called away from me on the 15th, I did not get the dividend on the 100 shares. So I only got the dividend on the fraction of the shares that I had, and that came out to about 60 cents. And from that, Fidelity gave me, 0.001 of a share. Yeah, great. So that was that. But if I had the 100 shares, I would have gotten extra $163. And, at the price that Fidelity was kind of reinvesting the dividend, I would have gotten additional 0.358 shares of SPY if it was automatically reinvested. So in order to kind of, compare apples to apples, I needed to also uh, buy at least these 358 shares of SPY. It turns out that I waited a little bit, and so SPY went down quite a bit. So instead of at 457, I think I bought it for around 445, I think. But anyway, I was able to buy slightly more shares and use the $163.37 for that. So I got slightly more shares, as I said. Instead of 358, I got 368, which is good. And I used the profits from the covered calls to make the purchase. So what happened on the 1st of September? So on the 1st of September, as I said, SPY was trading around 450. And so my call, with a strike price of 449, was trading around 130, 140, somewhere there, right? You can see the spread is getting big, actually. Anyway, so I wanted to roll it, and I wanted to definitely get a positive credit. I was actually thinking that SPY wouldn't go up that much more. So I was actually thinking about rolling into 450, but in the end, I decided to roll it safe, actually, and I rolled it 2 weeks out. So 450, 2 weeks out would be here. And I actually decided to go with 455 because I could still get positive credit, and now, the price is 1% above the current price of SPY. So that felt pretty safe. So from that, like 163 minus 133, actually, like, maybe I should get like 25 cents, if you take into account the spread between bid and ask. So anyway, but had I traded, or had I sold the 450 call, I would get 390 minus, say, 4. I would get about $250. From this roll, I got about $25. So that's a huge difference. But as I said, I wanted to play it safe. Looking back, it wasn't a great idea, but that's what I did. As I said, I tried to roll the call. I got the credit of 25 cents. And so I bought back the call at 139, the old call, and I was able to sell the new one at 164. And with all the fees, it came to about $24 of credit into my account. And here are all the trades from the last 2 months or so. So, I sold here. Remember, we started the new position with the strike price was 449, and it was expiring on 1st of September. And here I bought it back and rolled it to a new position, expiring 2 weeks later. And I got a little bit of a credit. And here, here's the additional shares that I bought instead of the dividend. And here is the actual dividend that Fidelity gave me. So now move forward another 2 weeks. So now it's Friday, 15th of September, and you can see SPY is trading below 445. Most importantly, is trading way below the 455 strike that I had. So remember, if I just rolled to 450, right, that would have that was kind of at the money option at that time, 2 weeks ago, I would have gotten a credit of about $250, I think. And instead, I chose 455, but you can see that both the 450 and 455, because, sorry, I don't have the expiration of 915 here, but, SPY closed way below 445. So both 450 and 455 options expired worthless. So I would have been better off rolling into 450, but that's easy to say 2 weeks later. I of course didn't know on the 1st of September. So anyway, so here are my choices, right? So I actually let the option expire worthless, and you can see if I rolled about 2 weeks out, I did not want to go below the strike price that I already had. So I would roll to the same strike price, 455, and that would give me credit of only about $40. And here, if I roll 1 month out, it would give me credit of about $230. Okay, that's definitely better, but also, there's still a lot of time left. And I feel that it's dangerous just for $200 to wait 1 month. What will happen? So I actually decided to wait for SPY to move higher and then re-enter the short call position. So here are the transactions again. These are the old ones. You already seen these. Here are the new ones. I received a dividend of 0.01 shares, and actually it was only 60 cents, right? And then I bought the dividend, I bought the extra shares instead of the dividend, and that got deducted from the credit that I got so far. And here I rolled, the call from 449 to 455, and the call then expired worthless. So right now the credit that I got from all the calls is about $1,100, and I don't have any short calls at this moment. So here are the transactions one more time. I filtered it by SPY this time, so you can see only the SPY related transactions. Here is the most recent row, right? Going from 449 to 455. And the expiration is not there yet because that will show up in transactions on Monday. Anyway, these are the positions as of Friday. You can see, SPY closed here. Both the Rhythm and Starwood are actually doing pretty good. But again, as I said, I'm not gonna count it for the campaign. So, you can ignore them for now. And here's the chart of SPY. You can see that after I rolled somewhere here, right on the first, and which actually turned out that the timing was roughly around here. So I rolled, I think, some at this time. So anyhow, so I rolled here, but after that SPY went down. I would have preferred if it stayed around 450 and don't go down so much. So I'm hoping that SPY from now on will, maybe zigzag and start going back towards 455. And once it's about 450 or so, I will sell another 455 or maybe even higher a short call. So here are the numbers in little more details. This is the, for the period that I have not done any reviews. You can see here I rolled on the 13th, I rolled from the 450 strike price to 449. And I got a little bit of a credit from that. And here, I think I got the 0.01 dividend. So that came kind of for free. And then here I bought the extra or additional shares from my own, money. I didn't get the dividend. So instead of having 1,270, in credit, I only got 1,110 or something in credit, right? So I used that money to buy the shares. And finally, here is the roll from 449 to 455, and I got the $24 credit. And we don't have the call option anymore, so no change in the credit from rolling the covered calls. It's actually easier to see it on the chart. Again, these are the 2 months when I haven't done any reviews. You can see, so the blue is the SPY. So SPY was kind of going up and down. At the point it went up quickly, like here it went up too fast for us. Then the yellow is the profits from the covered calls. You can see as SPY is going up too quickly, the profits from the covered calls are going down. But once it kind of stabilized, and in fact here it went down, so the profits again went up. And ideally for us, I like when SPY is going up slowly, right? So slowly means, well, we rolled somewhere here, right? 714, I think. So from here all the way to here, it was pretty much unchanged for the SPY. So the profits gradually became again reasonable. So right now we are somewhere here with the profits, which is about 2.5% of the original investment. And here is the weekly chart from the beginning of the year. So we started at 0, and you can see SPY was going up, then down, and here finally have positive returns, and the profits, the yellow, are finally positive again. We used to do a little bit better, slightly bit better at the end of May, but I'm glad that at least we are positive, close to 3%. So that's still pretty good. And the orange is the cumulative between the covered calls and SPY itself. And actually this time I included how the overall account is doing, and you can see the Rhythm and Starwood shares are adding additional profit to it, which I'm happy to see, but again, not relevant to our campaign. So what are the plans for next week? So the 455 call expired, right? So all I need to do now is start a new position, but I don't like SPY trading at 445. That's kind of too low. So I would like SPY to be a little closer to 455 before starting a new short call. And my hope is that the markets will go up from here, and hopefully the FOMC meeting minutes that will be released this Wednesday will help to push the markets higher. So, hopefully everything will work out. I'm hoping to get at least to 4 or 5%. Probably we won't make the 6% that I originally stated as my goal, but even 3% is actually pretty good. That's all I had for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, and until next time, happy trading.